So I just want to take a few minutes as we start. Let me just remind everybody, if you're not in a quiet place, be sure to mute yourself. So be respectful and make sure that everybody else can hear good. I am super excited to have one of my good friends on. Janelle and I have actually done a little bit of work together in the past, which is kind of how I got to know her. And I've just always thought the world of her, and she is an amazing, amazing leader with the company. So for her to take her time out of her busy schedule and come on to do a customer care training call for us, we're super honored and excited about having you, Janelle. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will let you up just a little bit. Let me just tell you guys this, just so you know. Janelle has been doing this business just a year longer than I have. So she's been doing it 12 years. And she has already sold over $1.2 million. Is that right, Janelle? Over $1.2 million, you guys, which is absolutely phenomenal in that short period of time. This year alone, she has sold over $118,000 in personal sales, which is amazing. So you guys, I encourage you to take lots of notes. She will give you amazing tips and ideas and share some of the things that she's doing to be so successful. So Janelle, I'm gonna let you take it away.
All right, thanks, Ellington. Good evening, everybody. Really, thanks for inviting me to this call to talk about customer care. I'm really excited to talk about this important but yet often overlooked subject. Customer care is a part of the business that I refused to do for my first maybe 8 years in the business. So I'm here to confirm that whether you're in the business 10 minutes, 10 days, 10 months, or 10 years, you may be thinking what I was thinking. I always just told myself I have a full-time job and relationship building, or I have a full-time job. Or some people say I'm a busy mom and I do not have time for customer care. So I just really literally didn't do it. I'm surprised I was successful. Anyway, I'm here to tell you you're really missing out on relationship building and future business if you're skipping this vital step in your Pampered Chef business. So trust me, it does get easier with lots of practice. So if you're somebody who really doesn't care for the phone, don't shut me out yet, okay? I have some great business habits that I will share with you today that will get you the practice you need so you actually stop dreading the phone. But customer care really starts at your checkout chat with the mentality of, what more can I do to help this customer with each customer, right? You're not just there to data entry their order. You need to look at their order and see, is he or she missing a vital tool that complements something on their order? Did she tell you on the way in that she really needs a new batter bowl and then there wasn't a batter bowl on her order? Pay attention to things that people say, okay? Did they buy a big ticket power tool that could be of more value if you were able to share a recipe collection with them, maybe by email? All of those are customer care things. So if you had a customer come, I'm going to do a little bit of interaction if you're okay with that, Ellington. What can somebody tell me, like, okay, if I had the glass mixing bowl set on my order form, what do you think I might want to get with that, or I might regret not getting with that? Anybody?
Silicone lids.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, the silicone lids. I think Kimberly said it. The silicone lids. Oh my gosh. Without those, they just have serving bowls and mixing bowls. With those, they have storage. They can cook with them in the microwave. They can put it on in the oven to cook with it. I mean, those are amazing, right? So you're doing them a service to share that with them. What about a pizza stone? Somebody buys a pizza stone. What might you suggest that they might need?
Pizza cutter.
Pizza cutter.
Pizza cutter. What else?
If they want to make their own dough, they need the roller.
They need the roller. Absolutely. Right? So don't be afraid to do that. What if they buy a grill pan? And that's all they bought. They just bought a grill pan. What else do they need with their grill pan?
Grill press.
Grill press. What else is handy with the grill press? something to clean it with, right? Like, I'm not a big fan of the grill cleaning tool, but I really love that little brush that we have. That's awesome, right? So just be thinking of those. That's customer care. And then asking each person about their interest in earning extra income is not about you at all. It's about each and every one of the people that are at your party. You have to think about what if an extra $200 could keep them from foreclosure? What if $200 could allow them to say yes to their kids to go to a sport? What if $500 could keep that tow truck from coming and pulling their new car out of their lot? You do not know, based on what people look like, what they really need. Some of the people that look like they have the most money because they're all dialed up are up to their eyeballs in credit card debt. Okay? So if you think about the fact that it's not about you and it's about them, asking each and every person if they're interested in earning some extra income will get easier. Okay? So just ask. Just ask. Although I know we're all dying to get 2 bookings from every show, and so sometimes we really think that that's a selfish thing, right? We go to those shows with that goal because we know if we don't, we might be out of business before too long. If asking people about having a party is so not about you either. It's all about having that party and what that party could do for them and their friends. It might be about giving more families a reason and a recipe to get their family around the table. It might be about the power tool that they saw that they were like oohing and eyeing over during the party. But, a lot of times that rock set, it's not on their list. That double burner grill pan, it's not on order, right? But you heard them oohing and eyeing about it. It's about how you can help them get that for free or at a deep discount. So remember, you're not asking them for a favor to do a party. I can't stand that when I hear, oh, she just did it to help me out, right? You're not asking them for a favor. It is all about what you can do for them. You're providing them with a great service when you help them have a great party, and they will love you forever, and they will recommend you to their friends. I always tell my new consultants to try to think about, that moment when you get to sit down with a host that had a $1,000 party. That's the moment that should be in your head when you're asking for the party. So always think about that. Best party, the most excited host, when you told them they got $215 worth of free products, 5 half-price items, and anything in the catalog at 60% off. Think about that feeling when you're asking people. So what about if they say no to everything you have to offer? What else can you do to be a service to them? I always like to end on a really positive note. So if they say no to everything, I'll try to alleviate that weird feeling they have because they feel bad. You can kind of tell they feel bad. So just saying something like, it's okay with party goers too. And if you ever end up being the host of a bridal shower and you don't want all that extra work of coming up with games, call me. I do a really great bridal shower, and my brides are usually blessed with over $1,500 worth of products by the time the party's over. Just take the pressure off of them and offer something else. Mention to them that you're going to add them to your newsletter. I don't really ask that question. I usually just add everybody, and I say we send out very timely, great recipes and things like that. So would it be okay if I don't ask them. I just say, I'm going to put you on my newsletter. And when you start getting those, if you ever need anything or have any questions about anything you purchased, just email me back and I can help you with that. I usually try to give them something with my name on it. So maybe just a business card, or if they were at all interested in the business, I'll give them a brochure, but I give them something with my information on it. And I say, just put me in your phone as Pampered Chef Janelle. And then if you ever need anything, you'll be able to find me back. Okay? Is anybody on here nervous when it comes time for your checkout chats at the end of your parties? I can't see very many faces. I wish I could see more faces. This is hard. So if you guys don't mind coming on video, unless you don't have your clothes on, that'd be cool. But yeah, Clint, do you get a little bit nervous? Just kind of get a little funny feeling in your stomach a little bit?
Yeah, I was scared to death that I was going to do something wrong, or I was going to charge somebody something, or not give them their free item that they were supposed to get or something.
Right, right. Are you nervous about getting the no's, or how you'll feel or how you respond when you get the no's?
No, I had a job previous in life where they always taught us that for every no gets you closer to a yes.
Okay, cool. So you've got that down. Well, what I've found is when I'm thinking about what's the next thing I can offer to this person, what service can I be to them? It's really hard to be nervous when your heart is on service. And I think that's a Rory Vaden thing. I don't know whose really statement that is, but I love that. It's hard to be nervous when your heart is on service. Now, does anybody on this call have phone phobia? Anybody hate to pick up the phone? Nope, you all love it?
No.
Okay, no.
I was going to say that's a lie, Janelle. They are lying.
I'm not a phone person.
Yep. Most people really hate the phone, and they'll just say, well, I'm not a phone person, I'm just going to text. But I will tell you that if you are nervous about getting on the phone, you're always going to increase your percentages of yeses when you're talking to people, because they can hear the excitement in your voice. You can hear their hesitancy. You can probably figure out what's holding them back a little bit if you can hear their voice versus just a text. So practice with customer service calls, with customer care calls, because when you are practicing those, I don't get nervous about that, because I'm not necessarily asking for a lot when you're doing like your 2-week and your 2-month calls. I only talk about booking if they warm up to me. And that's how I got used to talking on the phone. So I'm going to share a little something that really changed my business. I told myself that Pampered Chef made the booking rule to help us out. And I decided to commit to contacting every outside order before I closed my party. I'd like to say I always did that, but I really did not. My outside orders, I just looked at them as icing on the cake, and I didn't worry about the fact that I wasn't really doing a full service checkout with them. But when I made that promise to myself, that also meant that I committed to contacting every order on my virtual and my book parties, because there is no checkout chat, right? And I have to do that before I can close the show. And I'm very much like a list person. I'm a type A. So that really helped me. The other thing that I told myself, even though I know this isn't true, technically, I can still give somebody a future party pick if I haven't clicked that little button that says future party booked. But I tell myself that I can't do that, because I think someday Pampered Chef's going to lock that down and we're all going to get a big fat surprise, okay? Because I think they'd be so smart to lock that down. It's very easy technically for them to do that, and they just didn't do it when they did the conversion. So I just told myself that they did it. If I don't have a date in there, my host doesn't get credit for the party. Because guess what that does to me? That puts my heart back on service. I'm forcing myself to make those calls and make those contacts and get that booking on because I care about my host, because I want my host to get the half price item. And I'm not kidding you, that has completely changed my business. So I'm off my script terribly, so if I look like I'm hunting for where I'm at, I'm sorry. So for somebody who told myself for years I was too busy to do customer care calls, this was a big step. And what I found was these calls became way easier because they gave me the practice I needed to get comfortable on the phone. And I'm going to go through what I say to initiate the conversations with my guests, regardless of the communication method I'm using. So basically, when you would pause in a phone conversation to wait for an answer, you also only text or private message one question at a time, and you wait for them to respond or answer if you're on the phone. This business is about building relationships, and if you just like throw up a whole bunch of stuff through, whether it's on the phone or it's in a private message, and you don't wait for them to respond, really, they probably won't respond at all if it's a message, or they'll just respond to the one question that's most comfortable to them, and you won't get the future business. So don't worry about writing this all down, because I have documented all of these words that I'm going to share with you, and I'll get them to Ellington after the call so she can post them on you guys', I don't know if you have an org page or whatever, so I'll get them to you. But I would highly recommend that if you still have fear of the phone, start these calls by trying to contact them by phone, mostly for practice. If I can't reach them by phone, then I send a text message. And the temptation is that you just do the text messaging. But I will tell you that if you can get them on the phone, you're going to get a higher rate of yes responses. So start there. But the scripts I'm going to send to you and that I'm going to share right now, I actually programmed them in my phone under text replacements. Have you taught them this, Ellington, at all?
No, I have not.
All right, this is the most amazing feature that these smartphones have that I've ever found, okay?
And I'm the most non-tech savvy person, so it's funny that you asked me that because I have no clue what you're even talking about.
Okay, it is so cool. So basically, in either an iPhone or a Droid, and I have in the document that I'm going to send you, I have the step-by-steps, like what you click on both of the phones to find this. But there's this feature that's basically either a text replacement if you're on an iPhone, or on a Droid, it's called a personal dictionary. So you basically can go in there and you can make little codes. So I have a code. My code is TU for thank you. And when I type TU space, this whole thing pops out. Like a whole bunch of text, like a whole paragraph.
Wow.
Okay, so it says, I'm going to use you, Ellington. It says, "Hi, Ellington. This is Janelle with Pampered Chef, and I'm helping Sue with her party. Thank you so much for your order." And then I have programmed insert a comment about one product they ordered. So I insert in there, "You're going to love that popcorn maker, but make sure you put it on the outside edge of the carousel. It'll pop more evenly." Or just a little something, like a little tip or just a compliment of something that they bought. So I personalize it with that. And then I say, "Do you have any questions about anything you ordered or saw as you were shopping online?" And then I wait. Okay, then I wait. When they come back, I have a second thing programmed in there. And I program this in as BIZ for biz, and I hit the space bar and it automatically puts in there, "Great." Because usually they say, "No, I don't have any questions." But if they ask a question, then I customize it and I change it up. But mostly they say they don't have any questions. So I say, "Great." Now this may be the furthest thing from your mind, but have you ever thought about doing what I do to earn some extra income and or to get your hands on even more products? And then I wait. And 95 to 98% of the time they say, "No." "No, I'm just uninterested." "No, I have 4 jobs." "No, I have 3 kids." "No, I whatever." So if they say no along with an excuse, then sometimes I will do some overcoming, like work on overcoming objections. If I'm on a text, that's hard to do. If I'm talking to them, that's a little bit different. So that's why I try to talk to them. But then after that, if they say no, I have something that goes something like this: "I totally understand, and I really appreciate your response. I also wanted to check to see if you'd be interested in a fun party with your friends to earn some free and discounted products. Sue gets credit for any parties booked from her party. It's a great way to get those big ticket items on your wish list. Is that something that interests you?" Okay. Now, this was another epiphany brought on by one of the people on my team. At your checkout chat or during your follow-up, whether you're texting or whether you're talking, they say, "No, I'm just really busy right now," or "No, I don't have a nice kitchen like Ellington," or "No, I'm not sure I know enough people," or "No, my friends don't have any money," or honestly, any no with an excuse, with a specific excuse. Do you realize that means they've already been thinking about it? And they're just begging to overcome their objection. They're just worried they won't have a good party. They have the fear that they're not going to have as good of a party as Ellington has. She throws really great parties, right? So they're a maybe. You just need to get them excited about something, whether that's fun, friends, free, or food. Take your pick based on what you learned and observed during the party, or if it's a virtual party, what you kind of saw them commenting, right? But how many of you think that you might be missing out on some bookings by stopping too soon? Are you ever afraid to overcome that objection? Gosh, if they used to give me like 3 excuses, I have 3 kids, I work part-time, and my husband travels a lot. I'm like, whew, shoot, you are way too busy. No, let's not party. Okay, next. I mean, I was just walking away from that. And when it was actually one of my upline directors said, that's just them begging for you to turn them into a yes. That made all the difference to me. So if they say that, then I have a second thing that I come back with. If I'm just texting or if I'm talking to them, you know, I will say something like, oh, that's not a problem. It does sound like you're really busy right now. Would November or December work better for you? And you'd be surprised how many times they're like, oh, yeah, I didn't know I could do it out that far. You know, there's some direct sales companies you have to actually book within 30 days. So overcome that objection. So I have a second one. If I'm texting, I have a second one that says those words, right? And I say, at the end of it, I say, Sue gets credit if we save a date anytime in the next 6 months. So it just kind of alleviates a little bit of that pressure, like that they have to do it right away. And so often I found that it's really just the next month, or maybe 2, that they need to go out. Now, if I get a no there as well, then I want to end on a positive note. So whether I'm talking on the phone or I'm texting, I say something like, you know, that's not a problem. Not everybody's a party thrower. You can add me to your phone as Pampered Chef Janelle, so you can reach out anytime if you change your mind or if you ever need anything. And then I always, if I'm texting, I always say, if you don't already have a consultant. I don't know them that well probably at that point. And I'll say the last thing I wanted you to know is there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not loving your products, let me know right away and I'll get them replaced or refunded for you. Your items should arrive in a week to 10 days. So that's kind of how I end. And usually I get a big thanks, Janelle, with an exclamation point after I send something like that. So even if they seem kind of grumpy, like no thanks, no, you know, just really like short answers, I still get kind of more of a happy ending to that conversation. Okay. So if for any reason I really need to talk to that person, maybe, for example, it's somebody that at the party showed some interest in booking, but we weren't able to quite nail down the date, or they were a business lead, or maybe if they're a virtual, I'm missing some information, or had a credit card that failed, or I don't know, any problems that I really need to talk to them, then I just leave a really short message. I don't move into texting. So normally, if I'm trying to do this and I call and I don't get a hold of them, I will move right to text. I'm not a big one for leaving voice messages because I'm not very good at listening to mine and responding. So I find I get a better response if I move to text messaging versus calling, versus leaving a voicemail. So, but if I do have to leave a voicemail, it's important to make it nice and short. I just say, hi, this is Janelle. This is Janelle with Pampered Chef. I'm helping Susie with her party. I got your online order and I'm calling to follow up with you. Please call me back at, give my number, and you can reach me up until 9 o'clock tonight. The shorter the message and the more to the point it is, the better chance they're going to call you back, because they probably just think something is wrong, which it might be, but it's somebody I really want to talk to. Okay? This isn't rocket science, right? People really appreciate your gratitude for their business. They appreciate being complimented for their purchase. Everybody wants to feel good about what they bought, right? I go shopping and I always have my friends over and show them the clothes I got because I want to make sure I got them right. You know, I got things that they approve of. So they like that. They appreciate being asked if they have questions. They really even appreciate you offering the business opportunity and the chance to get products for free. Even if they say no to all of it, many times I get back, no, but thanks so much for asking. You know, so I think that's important to know that you're not bothering them. Okay. They never hang up the phone and think, that dirty, rotten consultant, you know, how dare she call me and thank me for my order, and what possible questions could I have? And oh my gosh, why would I want any recipes for my products? She's just a real pain, right? They're not thinking that. Those are just your fears talking. They are so appreciative of these courtesy calls. And what if 1 month down the road they break their favorite product, or they find out they need to host a bridal shower, or they're looking for an easy solution to dinner time? Maybe they're looking for ways to raise funds for a cause. and they recall you mentioning that that Pampered Chef does fundraisers, or that we do bridal showers, who are they going to call, right? Now you're in their phone. The consultant that never met or never followed up with them, or that never took the time to have a conversation with them, they're not going to call them, right? They're going to call you. Plant seeds and they'll grow. Okay? So that's a little bit about what I look at as still like full service checkout. So I'm doing it with most of the people at the show, but anybody that's not at the show, or if it's a book party or a virtual party, everybody gets a contact from me before I close that party. Now, let's talk about 2 + 2 + 2. They teach us this as new consultants, but sometimes we're so overwhelmed just with getting parties on our schedule, figuring out how to submit the parties, that we don't really get to this part. And then a lot of us find ourselves showless at about 3 or 4 months into your business. That was me. And I made all the excuses in the world why I was showless. It was because my son was going to go to college that next September, and I just was going to take the summer off. But the truth was, I ran out of bookings. My son could care less where I was when he was a senior in high school, and it was his last summer. Are you kidding me? He was hiding from me. You just got to remember that the sale doesn't end when the party does, and neither does your role as their consultant. In fact, following up with guests after they've had a chance to experience the products firsthand is really one of the most important parts. They'll have some time to think about the products and some of the opportunities that we shared at the party. And chances are that when they hear just a few encouraging words from you, they might take that next step, whether that's purchasing more, whether that's hosting a party, whether that's asking for recipes, whether that's joining your team, right? So they talk about the 2 + 2 + 2, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. And the 2 days, I kind of look at that again the same way. Do this before you submit the party. Because what if, some of what we just talked about falls into this category, right? So you've already got some of them done. But what about the people that attended the party, right? Why might we... Why, I'm really getting tongue-tied tonight. Why might we want to send them a quick thank you? What might happen at the day after the party? Can anybody think of anything that would be a reason that you might want to reach out to them?
They're not just a dollar figure.
Exactly. They stop feeling like it's all about sales. What else happens after you go to a party? You go to work the next day, and people are like, what'd you do last night? Oh, I went to a Pampered Chef party. And 9 times out of 10, there's a chance if there's 4 or 5 ears that are hearing this, somebody's going to say, oh, you did? I wish I would have known. I broke my pizza stone last week, or I did this, or I did that. If that happens, do you actually think that customer is going to pick up her phone and go, I got to call Janelle, quick. I'm going to add this to my order. Heck no, she's not going to think of that, right? But if she gets a quick email, you could do an email from within the show. You can go to the guest page, and you can do a follow-up email and do it massively if you want to. It's not my favorite because I feel like a lot of those end up in junk and spam. But what if you just did a really quick text? Okay, I'm not asking you to probably pick the phone up again. You just talk to them. But what if you just did a really quick text to reach out and say thank you? You could say something like this. Hi, Ellington. This is Janelle with Pampered Chef. I just wanted to say thank you so much for attending Sue's party. It was so nice to meet you, and I hope you had a great time. Thanks for your order, too. If you have any questions about your products, please feel free to give me a call or send me an email. Have a great day. If that popped in and she just had a conversation where her desk mate said, I really need a pizza stone, she might think about coming back and saying, hey, could I add something to my order, or is that not possible? Right? So that might be one reason. What happened if they went home and they told their husband, I really wanted to get this knife. It was so cool. And she bragged about it, and she said she uses it all the time. But it was, it was $53 or whatever the 5-inch Sentoku knife is. I don't know how much it costs, but it's my favorite. And she went home and said that to her husband. He'd say, well, why didn't you just get it? Well, it was X dollars. So what? Would you use it? Yeah, probably every day. the husband might say, get the knife, right? She's probably not going to pick up the phone and call you. She's just going to feel funny that she didn't do it, and she'll get it at the next party. But if you reach out to her, chances are she might add that to her order. You just never know. What if they forgot to ask a question? What if they forgot that one product they came to the party for? Because that happens all the time. Like, they come in with a list, and then you show them all this cool stuff because you're such great salesmen and ladies, right? And so then they buy 4 other things, and they totally forget. It's like when you go to the grocery store. I did it tonight. I went for potatoes. Totally almost walked out the store without the dang potatoes. So it happens, right? But if you reach out to them, they might have remembered that, and they might add that to their order. So, and even more so, just do it out of gratitude. Life is super busy. They took the time out of their busy life to show up at your party. You can use the email feature if you want to. You can shoot out the text, but if you learn this little fast thing, you could probably have a whole party of 10 people done in about 5 minutes. It literally doesn't take very long, okay? I like to open up, when I'm doing a lot of these 2+2+2 calls, because I'm going to talk about the next ones now, I like to open up the review and submit tab if I'm doing it before I submit the show, or go back to the orders page, because you know how you can like click on each name and it just opens up and you can see what they bought. So if I'm doing these and I have the privilege of being at my computer, I like to sit with that open. That way I'm kind of ready and I can, you know, talk about the products that they got if I need to. So now the next time is about 2 weeks after the products arrive is the goal. So I do it about 3 weeks after I submit the party. With that, I'm just really saying something like, and if I try to call and they're not there, again, I just do a quick text. So it's just, hi, Ellington, this is Janelle with Pampered Chef. I'm reaching out to you to make sure you love the products you purchased from Sue's party. I hope you've had a chance to get them out of the box and try them. If you have any questions or concerns, please call me back right away. I want you to be 100% satisfied. We do offer free return shipping within the first 30 days if there are any problems. And then if I'm voicemailing, I leave my number. Otherwise, I just say, have a great day. Okay? It's not that painful. It's pretty easy to do. Doesn't take much time. But they know that you're still thinking about them. It also is good if you got a host who's sitting on her thumbs and all of those people's packages, right? She knows now that that product should be here and she can reach back out to that host. I try to stress with the host that they need to get them delivered, but you know how that goes. So that's also another good reason for that one. Now, 2 months after the party, I'm really just kind of throwing it out there. It's usually a new season by this time, possibly, or at least a new season in their life. Like, life changes every few months for people. So I try to reach out to them at 2 months after the party. And again, a lot of these I have to do in text. I do a lot of parties, so I do a lot of these in texting. And I'll just say something like, hi, Ellington, this is Janelle with Pampered Chef. I'm calling because there's always something exciting going on with a Pampered Chef. I wanted to let you know that next month, our hosts can purchase our quick cooker for just $96 when they gather some friends together for a fun cooking party. I'm really excited about the new quick dinners theme party that features our best selling quick cooker. If this sounds like fun to you, give me a call, or if there's anything else I can help you with, I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day. And in this template, I have a lot of blanks, so you can just kind of fill them in depending on the month, depending on the theme that you're doing, and that type of thing. So, and lastly, you want to be sure to follow up with anybody within 24 to 48 hours with anyone that showed interest in booking or in the business that did not date or sign up right there at the party. I can't express how important that time frame is when you get to business leads, because if you wait too long, they will talk themselves out of it. And if you're on Ellington's team, she's probably got you guys all so trained, you're probably signing them all right at the parties. Because she's the one who taught me, sign them at the party, right? Are you still doing that a lot?
I do. I try to.
Yep. Yeah, it makes a lot less work, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. So a phone call for this is definitely my preference, but if I can't reach them, you can resort to texting or a message. Normally, I'll try the short message first to get them to call me back, and if I can't get them to call me back, then I may strike up a conversation. But you've got to use that same philosophy, okay? Just one question at a time to create more of a conversation versus a blast of information that might just overwhelm them and shut them down, okay? So you could say something like, you know, hey, Ellington, it's Janelle, your Pampered Chef consultant. Thanks again for coming to Sue's party last night. I can't wait for you to get your popcorn maker. I think your kids are going to love it. What did you enjoy most about the party? Just try to get them to come back with a conversation first. Get them engaged before you drop the bomb. So then you might say, if they come back with, oh, it was really fun, or whatever their comments are, I'll just say something like, I know, I just love that I get to party for a living. And quite frankly, I can't stop thinking about how great you would be at this. You are such a natural at sharing what you love about the products you have and love. I know you were intrigued when I shared the business. What interests you most about becoming a Pampered Chef consultant? And the reason I go with a question like that is because the first thing that people want to do, our natural instinct is to say why we think we'd be bad or why we don't think it would work. It's just natural. And so I want to know first what interested them. Was it the money? Was it the trips? Was it the fun? Was it the food? You know, they just love to cook, right? So then whatever they say, I'll come back with something like, I love those perks too. Honestly, it's so fun to cook with others and all while getting paid by Pampered Chef. Do you have more questions about why you should do this? Or would you just like to know how to get started? And that's the whole don't overthink it. In fact, those words I think I may have learned from you, Ellington. You know, don't assume they've got 1,000 questions, because it's not really that it's not really that complicated, right? Do they have questions, or do they just want to know how to get started? And then wait and see what they say. And a lot of this you're going to have to personalize, right? But just remember, recruiting's not about you. It's about changing other people's lives for the better. If there's something about your life that you like more now that you've joined the Pampered Chef, then you owe it to everyone to share this amazing gift, because you really don't know what could an extra $200 or $500 or $1,000 do for one of your guests. If you never ask, it's like you are answering no for them. And what right do you really have to do that? You don't, right? You can't judge because you don't know. So just think about it that way the next time you hesitate to share or do a true full service checkout. I want to leave some time for questions. So in closing, I just want to share this reading that was written by Rory Vaden. I love him. And he talks about servant selling. Here's what it says. Fear is so self-centered. There's one time and only one time when we have reluctance to make a sales call, when we are thinking about ourselves rather than the client's needs. We are worried we will say the wrong thing. We are worried they won't like us. We are worried it will be a bad time. We are worried that we may screw up our one and only chance. We are worried that we won't be knowledgeable enough. Our creativity gets the best of us, and we play out all of the imaginary scenes in our head about all the bad things that might happen when we make the call. In those moments, we are completely stuck inside our own head, thinking only about ourselves. Stop it. Your self-centeredness is disserving. Servant selling is not about you, it's about them. Did you even once think about how they might need your service right now more than they need the sale, more than you need the sale? They might have a hard time finding someone to buy from who they can really trust. They might not feel confident making a decision all on their own, and they would really love to have an educated opinion. They might be sacrificing their safety, their peace of mind, or reaching their highest potential because they don't even know about what you have to offer. They might enjoy a positive person to talk to, even if they don't buy from you. Or that maybe even they might know someone who fits any of the scenarios, even immediately above. No, we weren't thinking that because in our fear and in our self-centeredness, we were only thinking about one thing, ourselves. And we forget the first and the most important and the single most powerful truth about servant selling. It's hard to be nervous when your heart's on service. And that's all I have.
Woo, that was awesome, awesome, awesome. So lots of great information, you guys. I don't know about y'all, but I got a couple pages of notes here. So Janelle has given us an opportunity to ask questions. So you guys unmute yourself. Anybody that has any questions for Janelle about any of the information or anything else that you guys want to ask her, take it away.
Hi, Janella. This is Becca. A quick question for you. So I know you said you do a lot of parties. So about how many parties do you do? Because my struggle is like having a ton of these parties, and then how do you organize managing all the stuff that goes in with those, and making sure that you're consistent and following up with everybody?
I do about, well, with my virtuals, I probably do between 15 and 20 shows a month.
Okay.
So it's a lot. And if it seems like too much to do, I would suggest starting with one thing. And that's exactly what I did. I started with just the outside orders on my live parties and and all the orders on the virtuals and the book parties. And here's the thing, I think a lot of times we spend so much time thinking about what we have to do, and we don't just dive in and do it. And what happened for me, Becca, was it forced me to just dive in and do it and not ever think about it. I was like, oh crap, that show's got to close tomorrow. I got 12 orders. Okay, boom. And I pick up my phone and I start calling. And this is back before I learned this phone trick, I actually had everything in like little notes on my phone. So I had to copy and paste them. So I would be calling on my phone, knowing I probably wasn't going to get anybody to pick up the phone because I called during the day. And I would be copying and pasting and getting ready to send my text on my phone. So I was moving quick, man. I was just going boom, 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 boom. Now that I have this little feature, oh, it's a godsend. I absolutely love it. So I can go a little bit faster, but that's the thing. And Becca, if you absolutely do not have the time to pick up the phone and call them, at least text them. A lot of people respond to text now. My biggest recommendation on picking up the phone is if you still have a big fear of the phone, do some of these. They're fun. They're fun. And they're like you have a reason to call and you know what you're going to say. So I think it helps you get comfortable on the phone.
Yeah. Do you have a system of like, this is the time of day that I do my texts for these parties? Or do you like put those parties onto your calendar for like Michelle's party? When you close it, you do the text and then you set it into your calendar for the 2 weeks after and then the 2 months after, or how do you keep it organized?
I use my calendar. And I know that my virtuals I run Fridays through Tuesdays, excuse me, and I only do them twice a month. I only do virtuals twice a month, but I run like 5 to 7 parties at a time. And so I know that my Wednesdays are going to be a lot of follow-up. In fact, sometimes when I have really good virtuals, I'll take like 1 or 2 of my best ones and I'll actually start them on Tuesday. I'll just get a little bit of a jump on it because usually I do that on Wednesdays.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Other questions, you guys? Don't be shy. This is your opportunity. No other questions? Well, I just want to personally thank you, Janelle. The information was amazing. I took a lot of ahas from this, so this was great tips and ideas that myself and as well as my team, I know we're going to be able to benefit from as we begin to implement these step by step in our own personal businesses. So we appreciate you from the bottom of our heart. The information was amazing, and thank you so much. I can't express enough, words can express enough how much we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. You guys heard her say 15 to 20 parties, so this is not a lady who's sitting around in her kitchen twiddling her thumbs. So for her to come and join and do this for us, we appreciate it. So you guys let her know. Just give a big shout out to Janelle and let her know how much we appreciate her.
Thank you, Janelle.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Janelle.
You're welcome.
Well, thanks, Janelle. We appreciate you. And thanks all of you guys that took time out tonight and joined. Janelle, I'll try to work on, I don't know how to upload to YouTube, but I'm going to see if I can get one of the leaders. So I recorded this, so I'm going to stop the recording, and then I will see if I can get this sent to me. And I mean, YouTube, I can get it uploaded, and then I'll get it sent to you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, guys.